Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm All Things Wrestling, and today I'm going to be giving my comments, opinions, and the results of WWE SmackDown Live, 8th of November 2016. We kick off the show with AJ Styles making his way down to the ring. AJ tells everyone to give him a break. He's in no mood for their cheers or their boos. He does not want to see your tweets. He tells everyone to put their phones down, have a seat, and be quiet. AJ says he was pissed about losing last week after Ambrose cheated. He called James Ellsworth a mutant, and he said he would beat the ugly of him and Ambrose if they were both here. However, Ellsworth wasn't here because they didn't bother flying him out. AJ was told he cannot lay a hand on Ambrose because they're on the same team, and admitted he did want to beat Team Raw. He called himself the team captain and wanted to get his team together. Before he could finish his sentence, Baron Corbin made his way out. AJ tells Baron he can do what he wants as long as he delivers at Survivor Series. Baron says he will deliver, but not for AJ's team. Then the Wyatt's family making their way out with Randy Orton. And then before they could do anything, Dean Ambrose made his way all the way down to the ring, back up to the ramp, and then brings out James Ellsworth. JBL said he was wondering how they got it through customs. Dean tells AJ to calm down. He said that James is his guest and he's never been to Scotland before. Dean asks James if he has had a fun time and asks how can you say no to that face. Ambrose says Styles could fight him if he had a problem with him and Ellsworth. Styles looks around and says Ambrose was outnumbered when Baron Corbin left the ring for some reason. Shane McMahon came out and said if they want to prove that they were best and beat Raw, they have to be on the same side. Ellsworth offered to be the official team mascot, and Shane accepted. This made JBL make a comment about the gobbledygooker, which I would have thought comments like that would have died off from the 1990s. But who am I to know? A gobbledygooker reference in 2016. King Ross, that is a WTF moment right there, mate. It's a John O'Clock moment. Weird reference, whatever. Shane also announced a 6-man tag for tonight with Bray, Luke, and Randy versus Dean, Baron Corbin, and James Ellsworth. This segment felt a lot different to the Raw one. It just wasn't bickering. It was... the whole show just felt completely different. Like, you had a bit of the women thing, but it was during a match, and they didn't all bicker, and there wasn't really any tag team thing. It just didn't feel like the same repetitive thing. That's what I like about SmackDown. They got straight to the point. It was a good show. Let's get straight on with the rest of the show. Baron Corbin is walking backstage. Shane McMahon asked Baron if he had heard about his match tonight. Baron said he heard, but he does not accept. He does not hold out his neck for Ambrose and the mascot. He tells Shane to kick him off the team if he wants. Baron says Shane needs him more than he needs the team. Shane says that Baron Corbin can have a match against Kalisto now. Then we go to our first match of the evening. The Vaudevillains versus Breezango for a Survivor Series Tag Team qualifying match. It was meh. Fandango got the win with the Falcon Arrow. Let's move on because that match bored the hell out of me. Then we go to Natalya versus Naomi. Natalya gets in between Carmella when she makes her way down the ring, and Nikki was on commentary. She breaks them up. She blows her whistle and pushes Nikki. Nikki knocks Carmella down with a forearm. Natalya barely manages to get in before the 10 count, and Naomi gets her with an inside cradle for a 3 count. It's putting a bit of tension there, which I like, but it's not having all the women squabble. Nikki and Carmella doing that makes sense. I like the direction they're going with SmackDown. Then we go backstage. Dean and James are thinking. Ellsworth says they don't need Corbin, they can do it on their own. Dean and James, they are rebels without cause. They each have 2 hands, which means together, Dean, we have 4 hands. Dean tells James to stop or he won't have any partners tonight. Daniel Bryan shows up and says Dean says it is now 2-on-3 or 1.5 against 3. Daniel Bryan shows up and Dean says it's now 3-on-2 or 1.5-on-2. Fuck off. Daniel Bryan shows up and Dean says it is now 3-on-2 or 3-on-1.5. Daniel says they found a partner. He has faced the Whites in the past. He's reliable and his career is on fire. James turned around to see Kane, which scared the hell out of him. Ellsworth asks what's the strategy for tonight, and Kane tells Ellsworth not to tag in. It was kind of a nice moment. Then we had the Baron Corbin versus Kalisto match. The match never actually happened. Corbin attacked Kalisto as he entered the ring. Corbin was about to attack him more on the outside, but slipped on the apron. injuring his knee. He told the referee he popped his knee and he wanted help. Kalisto ran and drop kicked his leg straight into the steel steps. He got into the ring and the referee stopped him, but he managed to get on the top rope and frog splash his leg. I guess that made sense to write him out. Maybe that wasn't an actual injury because it wouldn't have been allowing him to attack even more. The angle worked. It's a good way to take Baron Corbin out of the match. Give Kalisto a bit of a one-up. Did he turn heel here? We do not know. Then we go backstage to Shane in front of a whiteboard with a member of Team Raw and Team SmackDown listed. Daniel enters and then tells Shane that Corbin won't be able to make the Survivor Series match. Takes his name off the board. Shane gives Bryan a list of SmackDown wrestlers and told him to pick one because he wanted to watch tonight's main event. I don't know why he said that then, because this was 1 hour into the show. And the main event won't be for another 30 minutes. I guess we'll roll with it. Then we had the Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. Great match. The women looked really good here. The finish happened. Becky managed to get Alexa in the disarmer. And Bliss had her foot on the rope, but the referee didn't see it. And Bliss tapped out. The commentary team was arguing about the win after it happened. A great way to make a false finish and then give Alexa Bliss another championship match. Gave Becky a good moment. Oh, good. And then we see Shane backstage with Daniel Bryan saying that the referee's decision was final. I thought he left to watch the match, which is what's weird with me. But whatever. Shane asked Bryan who would accompany him to Raw. Bryan said he had one word for that. Definitely. And then Shane looks at him. He's like, what? Did you say a different word? Maurice and Miz interrupt. Maurice says Miz was too pissed to speak and wanted to know why he couldn't face Dolph Ziggler for the IC title at Survivor Series. Bryan explained he wanted a fighting champion, and the whole point of Survivor Series was Raw versus SmackDown. Bryan also said in exchange for Ziggler defending the IC championship against Raw, Sami Zayn, Brian Kendrick would defend his Cruiserweight Championship against Kalisto, which means if Kalisto wins, the entire division comes to SmackDown. 205 Live, airing after SmackDown. SmackDown versus Raw match at Survivor Series. Will Kalisto win and bring it over and just make it one show? We will never know until Survivor Series. Maurice noted that if Ziggler lost, Miz wouldn't get his rematch. Bryan offered the Miz his rematch next week at SmackDown. He went, take it or leave it. Maurice accepted the match on Miz's behalf, and he didn't seem best pleased. Great heel work there, especially with the Miz refusing to talk. I sensed a bit of more tension building there. I liked it. And they are teasing a Daniel Bryan versus Miz match. Apparently Daniel Bryan has been medically cleared. So if they could do that, I would be amazed. And now we go on to match 5 of the night. And I really just need to stop thinking things to myself. I thought, Apollo Crews haven't been on SmackDown in a while. Guess what we have? Kurt Hawkins versus Apollo Crews. Why do I think these things? Hawkins won with a roll-up. I'm surprised. At least Hawkins got a win. It didn't really do anything for anybody, but what are you going to do? Yeah, I don't really like Kurt Hawkins. Just put him back together with bloody Zack Ryder already. Dolph Ziggler then was walking backstage and was asked about facing the Miz next week. He said he's a fighting championship. Next week is the 900th episode of SmackDown, and he gets to defend the title. He'll beat Miz next week, and then he'll face Sami Zayn at Survivor Series and send that paperboy back to Raw. Then we go straight to the main event, the 6-man tag. Great match. Everyone got their parts in. There's still that weird tension between Luke Harper and Randy Orton. The win happened. Ellsworth tagged himself in after Dean was lying on the ropes. Ellsworth goes for no chin music on Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt reverses it into his sister Abigail for the win. After the match, Dean checks on Ellsworth. All 3 of them surround Dean. Shane runs into the ring and gets between everybody. Daniel Bryan comes out and makes his way. Dean gets Ellsworth out of there. Daniel says he can name anyone on the list who he thinks can help beat Team Raw. Daniel says his name is on the top right hand corner, but obviously he cannot compete. The list of people under that are all the talent. In the top left hand corner is another name, the name of our commissioner. Daniel asked Shane if he will be the 5th member of the team. He does the yes movement. Shane McMahon is going to be on the Survivor Series team. I was not expecting that. I was expecting Undertaker or Kane, but it threw us a curveball and I love it. It's been a great episode of SmackDown. I've really loved it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll catch you later.